نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا إنه من يهد الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا محمد عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتون إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. إخوة الإيمان السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. We give thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who has given us another opportunity to gather here on this blessed day of Yom al-Jum'ah, which is Friday, 26th of the month of April, year 2024, which is equivalent to the 17th day of the holy month of Sha'awwal, year 1445 after the Engr of Prophet Muhammed ﷺ from the holy city of Mecca to holy city of Medina. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who has given us this another opportunity, may He continue to grant His mercy upon the noble soul of Prophet Muhammed ﷺ, his household, his companions, and we that we are on his path. May Allah gather us together in Al-Jannatul Firdaus after forgiving us of our shortcomings. In continuation on the discussion of Ad-Duah that we started discussing like almost 5-6 weeks ago, we've discussed with us what Ad-Duah is, and we have mentioned to us some of the conditions that can lead to the acceptance of the dua. Today, we are going to take another point, which is the point number 3, concerning Ad-Duah, which Ad-Duah is the weapon of the believers. You having the dua, you don't need to run to any other person other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As Allah told us in Quran chapter 2, verse 186, that we have been repeating on weekly basis since during Ramadan, that Allah told Nabiyuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, "A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim wa bihi nasta'in. Wa idza sa'alaka ibadi anni fa inni qaribun ujibu da'wata da'i idza da'ani falyastajibu li wal yu'minu bi la'allahum yarshudun." Sadaqallahul azim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told Nabiyuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that wa iza sa'alaka ibadi anni, whenever my servants, my righteous servant, asked after me from you, tell them inni qaribun, I'm closer to them beyond whatever they can think is the most closest to them. On one condition, ujibu da'wata da'i idza da'ani, I will only be closer to the person that calls me whenever he calls me with sincerity. So if you refuse to call Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will not come closer to you, because He has given us an exceptional clause. Ujibu da'wata da'i idza da'ani. And da'i, whenever he's calling Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ujibu da'watahu. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promised that I'm going to answer the call of whoever called on me. But on one condition, falyastajibu li, is to exercise patience with me and believe in me. While you may not be, he or she should believe in me after exercising patience and have a total conviction that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will listen to me. That particular person should continue to be exercising patience, because the previous righteous servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they have also called unto him, but he didn't respond to them instantaneously, but he finally did what? He responded to their call. So whoever calls on to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala should exercise patience, believe in the patience,
if truly the person is rightly guided. So if you don't have all these attributes, by believing in Allah, by calling unto Him, and believe in the call you have called unto Him, and exercising patience, if you don't have all these three attributes while you are supplicating to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you are not among the murshidun. You are not among those that are guided. So it's part of the conditions that me and you must possess. That whenever we call Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we should believe in Him, we should exercise patience so that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can come to our aid at His own desired time. We have mentioned uncountable numbers of servants of Allah that they called unto Him, and it was after decades that He now bring to it was after decades that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allowed their answer to the now gave them the answer to their call. It was after decades before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allowed it to come to pass. He has answered them, but before granting them their wishes, it was after some decades. We mentioned some of the Anbiya of Allah that experienced this. We mentioned some of the righteous companions that also experienced this. So today, we want to talk about the time that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, whenever you call unto me at that particular time, I will answer you. You know the verse of the Quran, it was generic. That call unto me, I will answer you if you are patient and you believe in me. Allah did not mention to us when are we supposed to call Him, that call will also be answered at that time. But it was Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that now made us to understand the actual time that if you call Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you surely answer all those times. That is why those that believe in the Holy Quran, that they call themselves Quraniyun, that they don't have anything to do with the ahadith of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they are not sincere Muslims. They are not righteous believers. Because you can't understand Quran alone without understanding the ahadith of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You can't understand the ahadith alone without understanding Quran. They are interwoven. They have an intersection point. You can't separate them. So whoever believes in the Quran alone and did not believe in the hadith of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is not a righteous believer. So Nabi Muhammad, he was the one now that now elaborated to us that if you call Allah at this social time, He is going to answer you. Number one, An Abi Amamatu al-Bahili. He used to be a companion of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Qala Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told them that is anada al-munadi. Whenever a caller call unto Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the caller we are referring to here is the muazzin. Whenever a muazzin, they didn't mention muazzin here, but al-munadi lis-salah, the person that used to call us, hayya ala salah, hayya ala al-falah, and when it is time to establish the salah, hayya ala salah, hayya ala al-falah, qad qamati as-salah. The person that used to call like that, whenever he called that kind of call, nada munadi, when that caller called, the muazzin, futihati abwabu sama, was to give a dua. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ensure that all the gates that leads to the heaven to be what? To be widely open. So at that point in time, if you call Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, at that time, that they are calling to prayer, and immediately after call to prayer, that the muazzin has already completed or concluded his prayer. Now say, Allahumma rabba hazi da'wati tamma wa salatul qa'ima ati Muhammadul wasilata wal fadila wa darajata rafiya wa ba'ashu maqaman mahmudan alladhi wa'adita. You can be asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala whatever you want at this point in time, at that particular point in time. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to grant your wishes. According to Nabiuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That was one of the companions, Abu Amama al-Bahili. Number two, another Sahaba called Anas ibn Maleek. He now said that you can invoke unto Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. إِذَا نُودِيَ بِالصَّلَاةِ. Whenever the call to prayer is being called, or after the call to prayer, فُتِحَتْ أَبْوَابُ السَّمَاءِ وَاسْتُجِيبَ الدُّعَاء. That the gates of the heavens will be open. I hope you understood and we can regurgitate that the heavens we have is not just one heaven. I mentioned to us the time we are talking about Al-Isra wal Mi'raj. Even before that time, I mentioned to us when we are discussing about Kayfa taftahu abwabu sama. How do we unlock the locked door of the what? Of the heavens. How do we open the heavens? How do we open the doors that enters into each of the heavens? We have discussed it. And for a righteous da'i who is so conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and that of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, whenever you are giving your lectures, whenever you are doing your da'wah, you will ensure that you bring your hujjah from the Quran, from the Hadith, from other qiyas of the ulama. So Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, according to what we learned from Anas ibn Maleek, that whenever the call to prayer is completed, is concluded, the gates, I think it is only one gate, it will be Babul. But it is what? Ad-Duah. The gates of the heaven will be what? Futihat. It will be widely open. According to Anas ibn Maleek. This is the second Sahaba that mentioned this. Another Sahabi called Ansa'il ibn Saheed. Sa'il also said, Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told them, Isnatani la turaddani du'a inda nidai wa inda al-bahas. There are two periods that whatever you say at that particular time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will surely grant your wishes. As-Sa'il ibn Sa'id al-Sa'idi. This Sahabi is the one that said that. That there are two periods that whatever you ask from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at those particular time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will surely grant your wishes. Number one, Inda Nida. Whenever they are calling to prayer, you are asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for whatever you want. Allah will grant your wishes. Wa Inda al-Ba'as. And during wars. When war is going on, when battle is going on the battlefield. And you step aside, you now invoke unto Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will answer your prayer. Inna yurihimu ba'duhum ba'da. When swords are being exchanged, opponents are facing each other, they are fighting mercilessly, fearlessly, they continue to be facing each other, and you step aside somewhere, you are asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for his favor. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will surely grant you. If not that, let's go back to the battle of Badr. Let's go to Surah Al-Anfal. We have discussed that from beginning to the end. Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he stepped aside. He started crying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to the extent that his armpit, everybody was seeing his armpit. At the level at which he was so submissive and so committed to the call he was calling out to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Which we are also going to learn from. How are we supposed to raise our hands while we are praying, while we are supplicating to Allah? After the supplication, are we supposed to use our hands to rub our faces, rub our body? Did Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam did all that? We are going to come on discussion on this, for discussion on this. Because majority of us, we are misplacing the priorities. That is why you see that you are calling Allah, all the conditions they gave you that you should follow, you are following them. But despite that, your answer to the call you have called was not given to you. It's because of misplacement of priorities. So, As-Sa'il ibn Sa'id al-Sa'ili also told us that two periods that your dua will be answered and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will grant you whatever you ask from him. Number one is when the call of prayer is being observed, or immediately after the call of prayer is concluded. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will answer whatever you requested for. And number two, in the ba'as, inna yurhimu ba'duhum ba'da, when they are raising sword, that they started fighting each other to the extent that you can't even recognize the person that is coming in front of you. You know the morale will be very high, because you don't want your enemy or your opponent to what? To become victorious over you. So at that point in time, you step aside. As I was saying concerning that of Badr, Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he stepped aside, and it was because how many were they? They were 313. All the provisions they had, in terms of sword, in terms of camel, in terms of daggers, in terms of gun, they were minute. And the kuffar, the Quraysh of Makkah, and all their allies, they were 1,000. So they were times 3 of the what? Of the Sahabas. So the physical fear was there. The emotional trauma was there. The spiritual disturbance was there. Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told Allah, if these Quraysh, if they are able to overpower us, no any other person will be on the earth to be serving you again. Don't let the message you have given to me to go and propagate. Don't let the message to be what? To be in a shame. Because they kill all of us now. We did their outrageous number. Who will now continue to be telling people about your deed? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it was on that battlefield, to the extent that the rida, the apron that Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam put on his neck, it fell down, because he himself was asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala severely, Allah, come to our rescue. He told Allah, if you allow these people to overpower us, nobody will be on the earth to worship you again. And Allah answered his prayer on that place. Let's go to Surah Al-Anfal. On that battle, on the plain of Badr, Allah answered him. He granted him his wishes. The first thing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did was that he sent down 1,000 angels. They came in batches, in 2 batches. 500 came. As the battle was going on, another 500 came. And they wore turbans. They even came on an animal that looks like a zebra, according to the Sirah. To the extent that the companion of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that when they raise their dagger, whenever they raise their sword to want to chop off the head of a kuffar, they wouldn't know, they just see the head rolling on the ground. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ensured that some of these companions, they saw the angels, but not in their image, because they came and they used turban of different color, so that they can be differentiated from whom? From the Quraysh. And they were riding on their animals. Some saw them and some did not see them. They became invisible. As we are also going to become invisible in the front of our enemies, inshallah. I think I gave us and I told us how to use it. You will pass in front of your enemies, they won't see you. Aqsamtu bi Rabbil Kaaba. But before it will work for you, you must have an account in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If your account is depleted, or all the water you are fetching, you are just fetching it inside a basket, not inside a pot. A basket is always porous. You will see what is inside the basket. But inside a pot, a chicken turmi, a chicken randa, it will be there. If not now, because of technology, because of modern civilization. Who used to use fridge in those days? Who knows freezer in those days? You keep your water inside a pot that was made with what? With clay. And it will be very cold. Even some of them will be cooler than the one you put in your thermocool fridge, refrigerator. But because you incline yourself with westernization, nobody, if you go to any house now, you see that kind of pot. That kind of pot now, maybe they are using it for a group. All our own children now, they don't know all this. with the westernization that we are inclining ourselves to, we are throwing away our very good cultural heritage that are even natural. Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he asked Allah, "Oh Allah, come to my aid," and Allah come to his aid. So we too, even if there is no battle now, you don't have any battle you are confronting, but the disturbance they are giving in your place of work is also a what? It's a battle, it's a war that you need to fight, right? You ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to come to your aid. That is if you have a reserve in front of Allah. You can see I'm putting a clause. If you don't have a reserve, Allah will not come there. And if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala come to your aid at that point in time, and after rescuing you from the state of mediocrity that you put yourself in, and you didn't go back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah might continue to be answering you, but the end result will not be good. You know, I keep repeating this. You are committing sin against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah is favoring you. And the people that are so conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to even eat become difficult. No promotion for them. Nothing. They are sending their children away from school. And still they keep on worshiping Allah every time. All the dictates that Allah dictated that do this, they do it. Don't do this, they don't do it. But provision of life was not there for them. And you that you are fornicating around, and you that you are taking bribe, and you that you are murdering people up and down, everything is going rosy for you. The end result will never be good. So, Sa'il Ibn Sa'id al-Sa'ili said, Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told them that during war, you can call Allah and Allah will rescue you. The way we have mentioned that of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So we can hold on to these three ahadiths concerning the time that we can call to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala after the call of what? The prayer. Number 2, بين الإقامة وتكبيرة الإحرام. This particular time, majority of us, we are losing the opportunity we have in this particular time that I want to mention. And some of our imam, they are also negligent about it. And it's a time that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used to come and what? To come and answer our prayer, because He's going to send down the angels. That is why we are encouraged whenever we are starting our song. This time I'm talking about is the period in between the completion of iqamah and when the imam will say the takbeerat ihram. You know, it's a very short time. So that time that imam looks back and is telling you, Sofu sufufakum wa atadilu fa inna sufufakum min tamamis salah. The imam will say, okay, adjust your leg, adjust. That time you should take opportunity to be doing what? To be supplicating to Allah. Between when the ladani completed, qad qamatis salat, Allahu Akbar, la ilaha illallah. And before the imam turns to front to raise the first takbir, that short period, it is the time Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is to answer our supplications. So any supplication you invoke unto Allah at that point in time, it will surely come to pass. How many of us are taking the advantage? Is it the imam that has not even allowed the muazzin, the ladani, to finish la ilaha illallah, that has done the takbirat ihram? How many imam knows this? How many of them that knows it and they are putting it into practice? So in between the iqamah and the first takbir, is a time that we can do what? We can invoke unto Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and He's going to listen to us. And hadith from Jabir ibn Abdullah, Qala Nabiyuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Jabir ibn Abdullah said they learned from Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that it's as soon salat, as soon as the prayer is about to be established. You know, we have left the point of what? The point of calling to prayer. Now we want to establish the prayer, we want to start the prayer after the iqamah. Futiyati abwabu sama was to give a dua. That all the gates of the heaven will be open. Was to give a dua, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be ready for us to what? To call Him and to answer our call. Nabiyuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us, if we want to start our saf, we should start from the behind of the imam and we move to where? To the right hand side. We should ensure that the right hand side is completed before going to the left hand side. The second row should also start from the back of the middle person in the front and move to the what? To the right, then to the left. This is how we're supposed to continue. As soon as the iqama, or we are about establishing our salah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will send an angel to come and be participating in what? In the prayer that we want to observe. That is why we are encouraged whenever the imam says, Siratal ladina an'amta alayhim Gayril Maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. We should raise our voice to say what? Amin. Including the Imam. The Imam too should do what? Say Amin. Because the last verse of that Surah Al-Fatiha is Siratal ladina an'amta alayhim. Allah continue to be guiding us on the right path of those that you are pleased with. Gayril Maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. Not the path of the people that you have, your anger is upon them. Already, your anger is upon them and they are what? They are astray. They are not on the right path. Allah, we are asking you for your mercy for us to be rightly, to be guiding us. You have supplicated to Allah. Siratal lazina an'amta alayhim. Gayril Maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. So as soon as you are saying that Amin, the angel that is there with you, supervising you, will also say what? Amin. So whenever you are in a prayer, ensure that you say the Amin and you say it what? Louder. So that is the hadith of Jabir ibn Abdullah. And part of the prayer that we can take advantage of doing during this window period, maybe you are asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for children. Probably, La tazadni faddan wa anta khairul warisin. Allah, don't let my wife to be barren. Allah, don't let just me come to this world without having any legacy. Don't let me come to this world without having any landmark. Allah, I want progeny. The way Nabi Zakariya alayhi salamullah said, Yarisuni wa yarisu min ali Yaqub wa ja'al rabbi radiya. Allah, I want you to give me children. The way the children of Nabi Yaqub, the way they did what? They inherited their father, the way he was able to live successor. Allah, I also want a child. Wajali Rabbi Rodiya. And the child you are going to give me, or the children you are going to give me, I want them to be children that you are pleased with. So even if you are asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give you anything, ensure that you put a clause that Allah, whatever you are going to give me, should be what you are pleased with. Not just say Allah give me child. Allah has plenty different species, different type of children in front of him. So if you don't ask him, don't give him condition, we just give you any child. He can give you the child and the child will now be a misfortune child. And be disturbing you throughout the entire life. You will now be asking, Kai, it's better I should even be barren than having this child. Because every time you will see that child, it will be making you to be shedding tears. But you are the one that has your child in front of Allah. You didn't put a clause. You are the one that you asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give you a vehicle. Allah is telling you, exercise patience, you refuse. You are crying out to Allah. You are crying to, okay, Allah gave you the vehicle. Within 1 week, you had an accident and they amputated your leg. But Allah was giving you warning that exercise patience, I will give you, but this is not the right time. So at times, we force Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to do what He is not ready to do for us. So we should be putting a clause in whatever we are asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that whatever Allah is pleased with should be what Allah will do what? Will do for us. We can also ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Rabbi abli mulkan la yanbaghi mi ba'd. The way Nabi Ibrahim Sulaiman told Allah, Allah, this honor you have given me, don't give any other person again. Nabi Ibrahim Sulaiman alayhi salamullah, he commands the wind, he commands the jinns, he commands everything around him. To the extent that one very day, he rode his horses. He enjoyed his horses. He was doing racing. To the extent that the time for Salat elapsed. He didn't know that the time for Salat had gone. When he later realized, he now felt so disturbed within himself. He now told Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah, he asked that all those horses, they should go and kill all those horses. Because these horses, they have taken away the remembrance of the time he has enjoyed beyond the time of what? Beyond the time of worship. So he now told Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah, this honor, these words that you have given me is too much to the extent that the word distracted me from where? From worshiping you. Rabbi abli mulikan la yambagi min ba'di. This word you have given me, this honor you have given me, don't give any other person. Because I'm an angel, I'm a prophet. Still, I miss the time for prayer. Not all of the people that will not be prophets, that they don't have the immunity that we have. So we can be supplicating whatever we want to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala within this short period after the iqamah and the commencement of the what? Of the prayer. Another Sahabi said, it's called Moqiulu Sha'ami. Moqiulu Sha'ami. That Sahabi is called Moqiulu Sha'ami. Qala. He said, Utlubu istijabatu du'a inda iltiqa'il juyush. He said, you should ask for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to answer your prayer when two warriors, when two battalions are facing each other in an attempt to what? To start fighting each other. When battalion A, when battalion B, they want to face each other for what? For war. That we should ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to answer our prayer. When you come into salat, and when prayer is about to be what? To be observed. You should answer, you should call Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What is Zulul Gaisa? And whenever rain is falling. Whenever rain is falling, we should do what? We should call on to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is what Moqiulu Sha'ami told us. That this is what they learned from Nabiuna Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. That the point that two battalions are ready to fight, we should ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala whatever we want. Wa inda iqamati salah, when prayer is about to be established, we should ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with whatever we want. Wa inda nuzulul gais, and whenever rain is falling, you can go out inside rain and raise up your hand to be asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rain already. It's a what? It's a blessing. So you ask Allah from the blessing that is descending on you, that you answer your prayers. I hope you are following. This is what Moqiulu Sha'ami told us that they learned from Nabiuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That is the little number of hadiths we can bring, the few hadiths that we can bring concerning the time that we can call Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala after the iqamah and prior to the commencement of the what? Of the prayer itself. Number 3, in the muntasaful layl, in the midnight. Muntasafu al-layl means the midnight. That in the midnight, we should also wake up and call Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to come to our aid, to rescue us from wherever we are. And it is that same midnight that majority of us will sleep throughout the day. And it's that same night that the evil people, they are deciding your fate. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them the power. That is why Nabiuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam made us to understand that there are people we call al-ainu. And he said al-ainu al-haqq, witchcraft. Haqqu, sincerely they exist. Nabiuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam confirmed it in an authentic hadith. That the witchcraft, they what? They exist. And the power that is assigned to them, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help them, will support them in using the power. Like what we said while we are coming to the masjid now. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He gave Pharaoh, He gave him the power. He sent Nabiuna Musa to Pharaoh. But when Nabiuna Musa was going, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told him, Izabu illa Fir'auna innahu toga. Go to Pharaoh. Pharaoh was an arrogant person. A thug. Somebody who is disobedient. Somebody who is not conscious of any other person except himself. Somebody who doesn't have the fear of Allah during the day. But in the midnight, You'll be roaming on the ground. That Allah, I'm just deceiving them during the day. I know I want Antarabul A'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent Nabiuna Musa alayhi salamullah to him. That go and talk to him. But while you are going there, fakulla lahu, or when you get there, fakulla lahu qawlan layyinan. When you get there, be very soft, be very flexible. Whenever you are discussing with who? With Fir'aun. La'allahu yatazakkaru aw yahsha. Maybe if you are soft in your discussion with him, you are flexible while discussing with him, he might listen to you and what? And embrace the religion of Islam. Why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told Nabiuna Musa that he should be careful? Nabiuna Musa is an anointed candidate. He has the immunity in him. But despite that, Allah told him, be careful. Because we are the one that gave Musa, we gave Pharaoh, we gave him the power, and we are going to support him to use the power. Because Allah doesn't have time to create something that is not going to be what? That is not going to be useful. Man khalaqta hadha batilan. Allah doesn't have time. He doesn't have any leisure time. That, okay, at this my leisure time, let me create something that will not be useful. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't have that time. That is why he told us in Ayat al-Kursiyu, La ta'khuzuhu sinnatun wala nawm. So every time, wa fi shan. Every time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is there working. So why will Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continuously be working, and whatever he has worked upon will now have no value? Will now have no value. So Nabiuna Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, as he told us, that in the muntasaf al-layl, that in the midnight, we should wake up and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for his mercy. The way we have said, that in the midnight, that is when the evil people, the sinisters, that is when they walk upon me and you. But you, that you wake up, that you are asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for his mercy, they will meet you as an entity that is untouchable. But you are using all your night to sleep. They will just pick you the way an eagle used to pick the chick behind the what? Behind the mother end. Behind the end. I hope you are following. Nabiuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us. This hadith was narrated by Usman ibn Abil Asi. That Nabiuna Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Tuftaw abwabu samai nisful layl. That the gates of the heaven, abwabu sama, the gate of the heaven, tuftahu fi nisful layl, that in the middle of the night, the gate of the heaven used to be open. Then when is the middle of the night? And geographically, middle of the night quite differs in different locations. Our middle of the night in Nigeria here will be different from the middle of the night in Ghana that is close to us. It will be different from the middle of the night in Benin Republic that is very close to us here. It will be different from the middle of the night in Niger. Like just this Ramadan that we just concluded 2 weeks ago, 17 days ago. They sighted the moon on the 29th day of Ramadan. But in Nigeria, we didn't sight it. That was why we completed our Ramadan to be what? To be 30. And one particular sheikh in Sokoto, he followed the declaration of the people of where? Of Niger, to observe his Eid on the day that our Ramadan was 30th. It's part of what I want to discuss. But I kept it to myself, which I wanted to discuss last week, because we are out of Ramadan. But it will be very beneficial for all of us. If one particular person, sees the moon at the beginning of the Ramadan, on the night of what? Of Sha'ban 30 or 29. If it is only one person that sees the moon, are we supposed to follow that person? Okay, every one of us, we didn't see it, and we didn't agree with him. Should that person, only him, that sights the moon, should he fast or not? And sincerely, he sighted the crescent, he sighted the moon. And Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us, Sumu liruhiyatihi wafturu liruhiyatihi. First, start commencement of your Ramadan as soon as the Christian is sighted. And break your what? Your Ramadan as soon as the Christian is sighted. Only him sighted the Christian. Every other of us we didn't see it. And we said, since we didn't see it, we are not going to. Should he fast? Then we calculated our own Sha'ban to be 30. We started Ramadan the following day. On the 28th of our own Ramadan, another person, only same person, now sighted the moon when his own Ramadan is 29. Is he going to go to eat on his own? What are the jurisdiction or what are the discussion of the jurists concerning this mas'ala? And I said, let me hold it to myself. If Allah spare our life till next Ramadan. So also, these are our women. We know that of the menstruating women. The number of days that they are off salat, they will not do what? They will not fast. Right? And they will pay it back. A pregnant woman who is carrying a fetus, who has an embryo in her belly, is she going to repay the fasting? Or she's going to do fidya? Fidya is to pay for what? To pay food to somebody on her behalf. If she knows she has the strength that she can fast, the fasting. But the fetus in her, she's scared for the fetus that something might happen to her. What is going to happen? Because this is two life in one. The fetus is still living, and her, she's still living. And she has the strength that she can fast. Should she fast? Because she's fearing that something might, she has the fear that something might happen to her what? To her baby in her belly. Okay, now, she doesn't have the strength, but her baby will be fine. Even if she fasts. But her baby will be fine even if she fasts. But now, she's scared. She's not scared of the baby, she's scared of herself. What is she going to do? Will she fast? Will she pay fidya? Because majority of us, we have some of our women that maybe last Ramadan, they were pregnant. This year, they were feeding, and they were doing breastfeeding. Last year Ramadan, they didn't fast, and they are yet to pay it back. This year, that we just finished, they were unable to fast. How are they going to do? These are mas'alas that are bottlenecks that we need to what? We need to discuss. For Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us another better opportunity. Let's come back to what we are discussing. Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Allah used to answer prayers during the mid part of the night. This is from where we left. So, what is the mid part of the night? As I was saying, in different locations, we have different points, different time. So now, our own night start from when? When we were discussing. Our own night start from when? As soon as the sun sets, that Salatul Maghrib begins, we have started our own new day. Not until 12 a.m. That 12 a.m. is Gregorian. Our own Hijri and the Sharia and the Sunnah of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is that as soon as the sun falls, the sun sets, and Salatul Maghrib sets in, that is when we what? That is when we started a new day. I hope we are following. Now, when is our Fajr? When will our night finish? Because of what we are doing now, we are trying to establish Nisful Layl. Let's assume our new day starts by 7 p.m. We've all agreed that it is by the sunset that our new day Islamically starts. If we give birth, if we agree that 7 p.m. is when our own new day starts, if you give birth to a newborn baby by 6:59 p.m., that boy is still giving birth to on Friday. But by 7 p.m., that at least by 7 p.m. now we have our Maghrib commencing from maybe 6:55. If you give birth to any child, any newborn baby, by 7 p.m., 7:01 p.m., right, we have entered Saturday. And you gave birth to one child, by maybe 6:55 before the Salatul Maghrib. Today is still Friday. That boy you gave birth to at 6:55 p.m. was given birth to on what? On Friday. The one you gave birth to after 7 p.m. and that same Friday, it has entered Saturday Islamically. So now, we want to determine the nisful layl for us that Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said here now. In this our own location that we found ourselves. So our Salatul Fajr that we are observing now, by 5:24, 5:25 now, our Salatul Fajr has commenced. And that is why we are observing our Salatul Fajr by maybe 5:40, 5:35 now. Because after the setting in of, after the commencement of Fajr, you give additional 10 minutes. That is why you should be very careful with the alarms or your Muslim Pro on your phone. It is the weather that we should use to determine whatever we are doing in Islam, not the technological device. So we are establishing now that our shuruk, our sunset is when? Is 7 p.m. Our fajr is when? 5 a.m. So we now look for the interval from 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. How many hours we have? We divide it into 2. 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. That is 1. 8 p.m. to 9, 2. 9 to 10, 3. 10 to 11, 4. 11 to 12, 5. Plus till 5 a.m. That is 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is 10. Then we divide it into 2. When will the half of those 10 hours fall into? Probably around 12 a.m. to 1 a.m. So that is the nisful layl that we have in this our country. So the Prophet Muhammad said, any supplication you render to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala fi nisful layl, in the middle part of the day, in the middle part of the night, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will answer it. Fa'inadi munadin, then in that middle part of the night, fa'inadi munadi, a caller will now be calling. Who is that caller? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You have woke up at that point in time. You are calling to Allah, you are calling to Allah. As you are not calling to Allah, fa'inadi munadin, a caller will now be calling again. Who is that caller calling? We have established now that munadin with tanween. That munadi is who? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For you will not be calling. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be calling while answering the caller that is calling him. Al-Min Sa'il. He will now be saying, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself will be saying, Al-Min Sa'il. Do I have anybody that will be asking me? Is there anybody calling on to me that wants something from me? Fayuto. For me to grant that person his wishes. Is there anybody that is calling on to me that he needs something from me? Let me give the person. Alimi makrubin. Fayafraju lah anhu. Is there anybody in distress? The first thing Allah will be asking in the middle part of the day, of the night, is that, is there anybody that has something to ask from me? Fayuto. Let me give the person. Allah will say the second time, Alimim Makirubin, is there anybody that is in a state of difficulty, that is not feeling fine, that is finding it difficult to pay his students' school fee, that he can't eat in the morning, he has been working for 1,000 years, he doesn't have anything to show for. His children he has not been getting any happiness from his children. He is always in a sad mode. He's always not happy. Alimi Makirubin, is there somebody that has something that is disturbing him that cannot even discuss with anybody? Fayafraj anhu. He should talk to me so that I can alleviate a way that is distress and that is worrisome. Allah will now say, Fala yabuka Muslimin yadihu bidawatin, that Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, there won't be any caller that is calling on to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala illa istujaba lahu, except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to answer that person at that middle part of the night. Allah will be asking you, do you have something to tell me? Are you in a difficult situation? Tell me, let me remove that difficulty on your way. Nabi Muhammad said there is nobody that will be asking Allah in such situation that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not answer him. That doesn't mean that in the following morning, you that you're asking for 10,000 naira, that when you wake up in the morning or you are at the entrance of your door, you now see 10,000 naira by the door. That's not the understanding. And we have explained the 3 stages that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used to answer our supplication and how He used to use them to protect us, the one He will give us in here, the one He will use to shield us away from evils, and the one He will preserve for us on the day of Qiyamah. We have explained all this. Another hadith of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that not only middle part of the night, the 1/3, sulusul min al-layl, the 1/3 of the night, as we have done that calculation that I calculated from 7 p.m. till 5 a.m., we should divide it into 3. The middle part of the 3 should be what? That is 1.5. Should be the time that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will also call to the lower part of the heaven to come and answer your call. It was an hadith of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Brothers, if Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is telling all this, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told him, Ya ayyuha muzammil, qumil layla illa qalilan, nisfahu aw inqus aw zid alayhi wa rattil qur'ana tartila. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can tell Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that you are muzammil, or you that you cover yourself, al-muzammilu, that you cover yourself, you are shivering. Come in layla. Stand up in the midnight and call on to us. Nisfahu, use part of the night, middle of the night. Nisfu means half of the night to call on to us. Al-zid alayhi, or you extend beyond the half of the night. If the night is 10 hours, take 5 hours, use it to call me. Or you take 7 hours, that is the ziyada. That is there. Warattil Qur'ana tartila. Not just the ta'ajjud alone, not just the qiyamul layl alone. You should do what? Warattil Qur'ana tartila. Recite the Quran. Read the Quran. After your nawafil, read the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam all this in Surah Al-Muzammil. So we should not use all our nights to do what? To sleep. A malam that wrote Ta'alimu Muta'allim, a literature called Ta'allim. He said, Tarumul Izza Summa Tanamu Laylan Yabusul Bahara Man Tolaba La'ali Yabusul Bahara Man Tolaba La'ali. Tarumul Izza. You want to become famous. You want to become successful. You want to get promotion in place of work. You are working, nothing to show for it. Ordinary school fees, you can't pay in local LEA, not even in the modern nursery school. It is your in-law that is paying your children's school fees. There are some men like that. They are physically a man, but emotionally, a woman is better than them. That is why every one of us, we should work. Go out and work. And leave every other thing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless for you. But you that you are calling your man, you are calling yourself a man, but all your responsibilities is somebody that is carrying it for you. You are not a man. You are just a living corpse. And it is that same you that you are using all the part of the night to do what? To sleep. This malam that wrote Ta'alimu Muta'allim said, Tarumul Izza. You want people to recognize you. You want to be number 1 person in front. You want to become the CEO. You want to become the area commander. You want to become the platoon commander. You want to become the commandant of your group. And you are carrying all your night to sleep. Summa tanamu laylan. All the night. Even you are even hastening the imam. Imam, please don't recite too long surah if you are leading all the Salatul Isha. And all what you want to go and do is what? To go and sleep. Not even Tarawih. If you see some Tarawih, you even better not to observe those Tarawihs. In the Yoruba land, they used to call it Atamumadu Singba. The Tarawih that after you drink your cocoa finish in your heart, you won't even wait to wash the plate that you used to drink the cocoa, because you are rushing down to go and observe your what? Your Tarawih, and the Tarawih of the 10 rak'at will now be for 10 minutes. That is what the Yoruba people used to call Ashamumodu Singba. Before some people even finish taking their food after the iftar, after the Salatul Maghrib, you see some people coming back from Masjid. Where are you going? I want to catch up watan. Mu hiddat da tarawih din mu. That kind of person, some of them, what they are hastening the salawat for is just to go and do what? To go and sleep. And if you look or you evaluate them, what has been their achievement in life is zero. He failed in the constitution or in the government of his wife. He failed in the government of his children. How can he succeed in the government of the society? Somebody that Allah placed one wife, 2, 3, 4 children under his care, that to control them becomes a problem. And that person said he wants to become the chairman of local government. That cannot even govern his own family. Just 3, 4 people that Allah placed under his care. And he's using all the night that's supposed to cry unto Allah, Allah, reshaping my life for me. Give me another proper alignment. Maybe I'm in the wrong alignment. I'm like a spore. This Malana said that you want your life to be balanced. You want to work so that your children tomorrow, they have a soft landing. Some of us here, the journey of our parents is what have paved way for us. They step on tongues. They step on people's toes. That what I have suffered today, I won't allow my children to suffer it. They labor in the afternoon and they had a sleepless night in the night. Because some of you that you are just getting promotion every time that you think is that your certificate. No, there are some certificates that they didn't bring out. That they kept them somewhere just for you to what? To have your way. It is the goodness of your parents that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Amen to yesterday, that paved way for you today. Then they have become bulldozers that are clearing the weeds and vegetation away from the road for you. That is why at times if you misbehave, you go scot-free. It is because they didn't sleep yesterday. So matanamu layla, you that your life has no direction and you are sleeping in the night. Yabusul bahara man talaba al-lal. The person that is looking for diamond. Al-la'ali means diamond. Az-zahabu means gold. Yabusul bahara al-lahali. Kullu man yabusul lahali. Kullu man yuridul lahali. Yabusul bahara. Whoever is seeking or needs diamond, he has to go and do what? He has to go to the deepest part of the what? Of the ocean. This is not a sea. This is not a stream. This is not a pond. Ocean. Yagusul Bahara. He has to go into the what? Into the Bahar. Ocean. Man talaba la'ali. Al-la'al is diamond. If this place is a dark room now, if you bring just a tip of my finger of diamond, it will illuminate all the darkness in this place. So if you want to become great in life, you must not use all your night to do what? To sleep. Yoruba people used to say, "To ba ti sun, o ni sun. In kana bacci, a inda kake ne zaka yi ta bi, zaka yi ta zama, ba zaka masa daga gurin nan zuwa gurin nan ba." Ma'ana karin magana din kenan. To ba ti sun, o ni sun. If you sleep, where you are sleeping, you continue to be sleeping there, you won't move. So you'll be stationed in one place. There won't be any dynamics in your life. So Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us, any supplication we render unto Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the middle part of the night or in the 1/3 of the night, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will do what? Will grant us our request. Except 2 people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not answer their prayer, no matter the number of their raka'at that they observe in their qiyamul layl or ta'ajjud, or the number of Quran that they read or they recite to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah will never listen to them. And what are those people? Azaniyat tas'a bi farajiha. Number 1, among these 2 people that Allah will not listen to, no matter what they used to beg Allah, Allah will never answer their prayer. Azaniya, an adulteress. Tas'a bi farajiha, that is selling her body to make sustenance. manzo Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam ya gaya mana ya ce wai a diga kira Allah a cikin dare, Allah zai zo kasan duniya, zai zo kasan al'arshi, zai zo kusa da mu a nan duniya, zai yi ta tambaya ce almin sa'il, akwai mai roko fayuto in bashi abin da yake roka. Waye ne yaransa yana damunsa, ku gaya mu in ba ku yara na gari, in canza rayuwarsu. Kai mun kuka almin mukiribin, waye ne talauci yana damu, waye ne duk abubuwa sun ruguje masa, yana ta yi ne kaman giwa amma yana ta ci kaman bera. Waye na cikin ku yana ta aiki kaman shekara dubbai amma ba alheri aiki sa, ce to ga fili da ya siya, kuma kowa ya san yana aiki, amma ce ina kudin aikinka babu. Ina yara da ka tura makaranta da kudinka, in ba ka gina gida ba za a ce kana doka kudinka kana tura ma yara makaranta babu. Yaran ma Allah ya jarabce ka da yaran, ba yara na gari bane. Duk wannan damuwa wa yake mun kukan nan, fa yufraju anhu, in dauka masa duk nauyin nan cire a cikin rayuwarsa. An ce wai Allah zai yi ta ansa a cikin sakiyan dare, ko in mu rage dare zuwa gida uku. Kuma na yi bayani na ce wai daren namu a nan yanzu ya fara tun daga lokaci da rana ya fadi da za mu yi sallan magariba, kuma dare zai kare, alfajiri zai fito kamar tun karfe 5. Yanzu muna sallan asuba karfe 5:40 ko, amma alfajiri ya shigo daga karfe 5:24. So daga karfe 7 na dare zuwa karfe 5:24 din nan shine daren namu. Sakin daren nan an ce wai mu tashi mu roko Allah, duk abin da mu roko Allah da shi Allah zai bamu. Wani hadisi kuma ya zo ya ce wai mu raba daren nan, mu raba shi gida uku. Sakin gida uku din nan shine daren namu, ko mu dauki daya cikin gida uku din nan, ko mu raba shi uku, mu dauki daya cikin guda uku din nan mu roki Allah, Allah zai zo ya ansa. Amma akwai mutane guda biyu da duk abin da suka yi ma Allah a cikin kira Allah bai zai amsa ba. Su waye ne? Na mace a cikin guda biyu nan, na mace da tana zina da gabanta. Azaniya tasa bi farjiha. Na mace, a woman that is using her private part, that is using her body that is using it as a source of what? As a source of income. How many of our people today that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless them with wealth that is not passing through this? How many of them can vouch in front of, even if not in front of us, if Malakul Maut comes to them now, if the angel of death comes to them now, that Allah Diwani, with what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you, can you tell me that you don't have a side chick? Even some of us that we don't even have 5,000 naira in our account. Some people among us here, they have 3 side chicks. They have the one they have in Naija, they have the one they have in Lagos Island, they have the one they put in Lakampai. And if you look at this particular person, there is no any valuable thing in his life. The only investment he has is to be investing in side chicks. And some of them, they have children that every day they are sending away their children from school. One of our malam told us something. Na ce abin da nake na fada shine, akwai wasu matasa, kuma ba matasa kadai bane. Akwai wasu wanda Allah ya ba arziki a kasar mu nan ko a duniya, mu tara mutane guda 10 wanda Allah ya ba su arziki. A ce mutum da ya fito a cikin su, ya ce shi bai da wani yarinya da yake kwanta da ita da ba matansa ba. A kira su domin a cikin fitina da Allah ya hada mu da shi, kudi ne, ilimi ne, kuma da aljahu jikin yaniyi. To be fair, Allah ya baka honor, a ce ga wane Allah ya bashi hurma. Cikin abubuwa guda uku dinnan, hurma, kudi, ilimi, abubuwa da yake duk wanda Allah ya hada masa, da kyan ne zai samu lahira. To guda ɗaya kawai na Allah ya ba wasu, kuma sun ruguje duk duniya. Kudi kawai na Allah ya ba wasu, za ku ga wasu ma wawaye ne, kafin ya yi magana ma miyo zai cika duk jikinsa, amma ba ku je gabansa ba za ku ci abinci ba. Rabbuka yahluku ma yasha'u wa yahtaru man kana lahu mulkiya. Yanda Allah ya ga dama ne yake raba arzikinsa. Subhanallazi khalaqa arzaka kayfa yasha. kuma gashi wanda suna da hankali da suka je turai sun je sun yi karatu har ma wasu suna so su yi karatu a cikin Ka'aba ma Allah ya hana su suna da takardu ke gaskiya mai karatu a matuka in ba su je gurin wawan nan ba za su ci abinci ba a gurin su ne Allah ya sa Allah ne ke shine zai tafiyar da su manzo sallallahu alaihi wasallam ya ce a cikin wanda Allah bai zai ansa addu'an su ba bai zai ansa kiran su ba na mace da tana ciyar ko tana ci da gabanta su karuwai kenan ko amma samayen su da suna da gidaje suna da hotel gidan kwana gurin ne suke sayawa wanda yana bukatan su zai je yanzu ba inda babu a cikin ofisoshi suna nan in ma baka yi magana da su ba za su kawo kansu in sun ga wani abu a jikinka a masallaci mafi yawancin matayen nan da suke zuwa masallaci mafi yawancin su ba niyyar ce mun zo mu yi sallah bane wasu sun zo sun bata ma limami din sallah ne ce muna ta neman ka to za mu zo sai su ya wuce a gaban limami din to in kuma limami ya ga yariya mai kyau ai dole ya gangara akan suratul fatiha daga suratul gari siratal ladina an'amta alaihim sai shiga cikin bakara daga bakara yayi somasot kuma ya shiga cikin tauba to mallan ya ga yariya mai kyau fari kamar aljanni kan Allah ya hada mu da irin wannan what I'm saying is Allah Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said those that Allah will not answer their prayer will not answer their supplication number one among them no matter what they used to invoke unto Allah number one among them is a woman that is selling her body to make money for her sustainability. One of our malam told us one very day that I was reading the hadith. He said he has a lawyer friend, and as they were talking about this hadith, he was so disturbed that can a woman be selling her body to make money? The lawyer now told that our malam that Malam, it's like you are not in Nigeria. You don't know what is happening. As I'm talking to you now, I have a document that I'm trying to do a deed of agreement that a man just bought a 67 million naira parcel of land for his side in Nigeria. The land that you use 67 million naira to buy. Do you know how much they are going to use to build on it? Over 100 millions of naira. And maybe his wife is at home. That she will beg him. How she has been begging him for 5,000 naira to just refill their gas. Maybe it's the type of person that used to use his wife to train like Muhammad Ali the boxer. Maybe it's the type of man that used to hang a belt or koboko blala that be telling her, Sheri, soroko ya rembe. And he's buying this kind of land. Yes, ya na million, sitting the bokoy. Yes, ya ma kaluwa deke konta data. To an siya fili na 67 miliyan gida da za gina a kansa kun san sai mu ce ina lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un kawai so na farko kenan da Allah da zai ansa addu'ar su ba na mace kawai bane na ta sha gaya mana nan su yan daudu din nan da mu muka sani a arewa akwai rusu anan su ba dan daudu ba ana kiransu jingolo Janda karuwan matan nan suke gyara jikinsu, suke shan magunguna iri-iri. Muna da mazaje a nan Lagos. In faɗi inda na sani. Na san don daudu a arewa, ban san jingolo a arewa ba. Su ma za su gyara kansu. Su ma su sai a kan baki hanya. Mata za su je su neme su ce to, na zan biya ka zo ka je ka kwanta da ni. What I said in essence is that Nabi Muhammad told us that Allah will not answer the prayer of whom? Of a prostitute, an adulterer, a rotten swine, a woman that is making source of her living from where? From her body. Allah will not answer her prayer. And I say it's not only women that are existing. We have the men too that are also practicing this. That we have here. Not the gays. Not the gays. The gays are to the same sex to sleep with each other, right? For the men. For the lesbians are the women, right? This one, we call them jingolo. They are here in this town. The one that we bleach to make himself attractive. They have some seductive medication that they are using, and they will line up themselves on the street. And women that need the services of a man, they will now go and be pricing them. That I want you to come and sleep with me. How much will you take? 1 hour, 2 hours. They are here in this state. Not history, they are still existing. We know where they are. If all this category of people call on to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will not answer their prayer. Azariya or Azariyata tas'a bi farjihi or tas'a bi farjihi or tas'a bi farjiha. Either a male or a female that is selling his body to make sustainability, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not answer his prayer. Some of them will use this money. They will use this money to send people to Hajj. Some of them will use this money to build a gigantic building for their community. That is why all the masajid that we are praying, that they say one rich man just bring his money, he just demolish the old one. The old one that Allah is even answering our prayer better than the modern one that they build for us. Because the source of the money is not clean. We are going to come to it. Number 2, so that we can close for the day. Wal asha wal makas. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not answer their prayer. Al asha. All these people that used to stay, this one is concerning the market people. An example, or typically, the people that this hadith is referring to, are those people that they used to stay by the roadside, they want to enter the market. They've had a bargain with the trader. Maybe the person selling rice, the person selling food, all these stuff. And probably, all these people that used to collect la'ada in the ram market or in the goat market, they can also fall into this category. That is why in my life, I have never paid la'ada anytime I go to ram market. La'ada in Islam is haram. La'ada, kudin la'ada da ake karba a gurin siya raguna, a gurin siya tuma akuya. Allah bai yarda da shi ba, haram ne. Ku sulhuta, ku daidaita da wanda za ku siya akuya a hannunsa, da wanda za ku siya sani a hannunsa, nawa ne saniyanka? 100,000. Nawa ne kudin igiya? Naira 100. Kudin ka 100,000 da naira 100. Ku bashi. Mai lada baya cikin shari'a. Ni ba na biya, ban taba biya ba, kuma ba zan biya harin koma gaban Allah ba. In zan baka kudi kyauta, zan baka. Amma lada babu. So ku da kuke yi ku daina. Yana bin ku biye ku ba su kyau, kaje ka bi wannan kaje ka ci ruwa, ka bi wannan kaje ka ci abinci. Ku giya masu kudin la'ada baya cikin addini, baya cikin shari'a dinmu, in lalle mu musulmin kwarai ne. So wannan na biyu da manzo Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam ya giya mana ce duk kiran su da suka yi ma Allah, Allah bai zai ansa addu'ar su ba. Wanda suna saya cikin kasuwa, kana so ka shiga kasuwa, kana so ka yi sayayya, to su ne suka san guri. Amma sun riga sun daidaita da mai kayan, ce to kayanka naira 1,000 ne, amma duk wanda zai siya zai gaya masa 2,200. In kuma na kawo maka wanda zai siya, za ka bani naira 100 a cikin 2,000 din nan. Duk masu yin wannan, Allah bai zai ansa addu'ar su ba, kuma bai zai sa albarka cikin abin da suke yi ba. Al-asha wal makas. Whoever is an intermediary between a trader and a buyer that has an understanding with the trader. The trader is the person that wants to sell his goods or services, right? It can also, this can also talk to the consultants, those like HR firms that used to engage people for maybe multinationals. Maybe Dangote wants to recruit now. They will now consult a recruiting firm that we need 1,000 workers. We can't source them directly from our HR department. You are rendering this consultancy services. Get us 1,000 people. We are going to pay you $10,000 per one person. You know they have had that agreement. Now, the person that now took Dangote, that gave Dangote that link, I'm just citing Dangote as an example. Or I say, Saheed Olaosebikan and company. So that they don't go and tell Alhaji Aliko I'm using his company. Saheed Olaosebikan and company. Or Al-Rawda. Al-Rawda wants to engage. So the person that now linked Al-Rawda and associate with the recruitment firm now said, okay, before I link you up, you must give me $1,000 per one worker. He now went to the consultancy firm that used to work, that used to recruit people for multinationals. He now said, I'm going to bring a client for you. They will give you a contract. On each person, that if you are giving them 1,000 workers, on each of one person, that 1,000, I will collect $100. You know, he has put that person in a tight condition. Any money collected like that, Allah will not bless you. And any invocation you invoke unto Allah, Allah will not answer. Do we understand? Al-Asha huwa al-Makkas. Do we understand? Mun gane ko? Duk wanda yake kai ka zo muna da doya nan, muna da wake nan. Shi ne zai kai mu gurin wanda zai siyar mana. Kuma ya riga ya giya ma mai wake ce ina kawo maka wanda zai siya, na kawo maka customer. A cikin kudin da ya biya, maybe kudin wake, kudin buhun wake naira 100 ne. Ko a cikin naira 100 din nan zaka bani naira 50. Ko sai ya riga ya takura masa. Kudin na Allah bai zai sa albarka ba, kuma rayuwarsa Allah zai murkude rayuwarsa. Kuma to ni ban sani ke kudin wake naira 100 ne. An siyar mun da wake naira 100 da naira 25. Naira 25 din shi da kai ni din da za ba. Kuma zai karbi naira 50 hannu mai wake ko ya samu naira 75 kenan. Duk kudin na Allah bai zai sa albarka ba. Kuma rayuwarsa Allah zai sa da zai ji dadin rayuwarsa ba. Mun gane ko? So wayanda za su kira Allah cikin tsakiyar dare da Allah bai zai ansa addu'arsu ba, shine na mace da tana ci da gabanta, kuma wayannan da suna yin wannan aiki suna kwace kudi ana, suna kwace kudi ana, Allah bai zai ansa addu'arsu ba. Inna Allaha wa malaikatahu yusalluna 'alan nabiyyi ya ayyuhallazina amanu sallu 'alaihi wa sallimu taslima. Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala man la nabiyya ba'da. We give thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who has given us this opportunity to be here today again. Allah has said this from us as an act of ibadah. Out of the 12 points that I want to talk concerning what we need to do for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept our prayer and the time that we will call to Allah to answer our prayer, we just mentioned 3. So we are going to continue next week with Qudratillah Ta'ala. May Allah spare us till then and beyond then in good condition. And all this we are doing, may Allah accept it as an act of ibadah. Because some people have done more than this, Allah said, I don't want. Allah, don't let all this our effort to be in futility. Wala hawla wala quwwata illa billah. So, today, one of our father, one of our uncle, among these our fathers, that we have been praying together here almost 2 years. He said today is going to be his last Friday with us. Probably by next week, we will already be on his way back to their village. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect him. Abin da na faɗa ne a cikin wani su babanmu da muna sallah tare da shi, yau ne karshen juma'a da zai yi da mu anan. Ba mamaki sati mai zuwa maybe ya kai gari ko yana hanya. Allah ya mai da shi gida lafiya. Allah ya sa ya samu iyalinsa lafiya. Mu da zai bari a baya, Allah ya sa mu ma muna cikin lafiya, cikakken lafiya. Lafiya na jiki, na imani, kuma na karin kuɗi. Domin wasu a cikinmu muna yin rashin lafiya domin ba mu da kuɗi ne. Rashin lafiya iri-iri ne. Akwai rashin lafiya jasadiyya, akwai kuma na maliyya. Akwai rashin lafiya na kuɗi, kuma yana da lafiya na jiki. Akwai rashin lafiya na jiki, amma akwai lafiyar jiki amma akwai rashin lafiya kuɗi. Duka kan Allah ya sa mu rasa. A nan duniya da lahira. Inna Allah ya'murukum bil adli wal ihsani wa ita'i zil qurba wa yanha 'anil fahsha'i wal munkar wal baghi ya'idukum la'allakum tadhakkarun. So the man we asked for fisabilillah for his daughter last week. Alhamdulillah, we were able to get 10,000 plus, and somebody also collected his account. I don't know what they sent, but the money we were able to gather here was worth 10,000 naira plus and above that we gave him. And the brother, the Alojin brother that also became a Muslim here last week, we were able to give him something. Alhamdulillah. This is what we want. As our quwwah, this is our power. We should support each other at the time of need. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala support every one of us. Our security personnel among us, the ones that are serving, the ones that have retired, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to protect you. You can all see what is happening in the refinery and what happened 2 weeks ago. That 2 soldier men were caught with cables. So nobody is safe, nobody can be trusted. The people that they to be protecting us, to be catching thieves up and down inside the refinery. They were caught with their camouflage. Nigerian army has dismissed them now. They are in Akodo. I went there day before yesterday to rescue somebody. They are in the same cell with the person. They are going to cut their back now. They will continue. Already Nigerian army has dismissed them. What would they tell their family? Now what they stole, they couldn't go out with it. And how much would that thing even cost? Only God knows the number of years they have served in the Nigerian army. Fine, they are young. Maybe they have spent 10 years, they have spent 5 years. But they have a career. See how their photo, their image is on the internet. Even if they die, their children that they leave behind, if the children want to do gaga inside the society. Are you not the son of social person? They just play the internet, they bring their father out. That's what I keep telling us. We should all be careful. We should all be careful. If you are living a free care life, remember your family. Remember the innocent children. Remember the innocent wife that you forcefully go and bring out for our family. Or is it their family that come and beg you to come and marry their daughter? Some of us, we are just ashamed to ourselves when it comes to presentation in front of our family. Just because of this money, one of our own workers too, they are looking for him now. The highest number of tables that has been cut was from one of our workers. 1,197 or 1,097 pieces. That of the Nigerian army guys, 897 or 800 and something. So the highest now is from somebody that is working with me. He said at large, and inshallah they will catch him. Inshallah, the Qudratullahi Ta'ala will be caught. Because he's working, we are paying. Some of them, they don't even care. Even if you don't pay, they don't care. Because they have another source. Inshallah will be caught. Except if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not Allah. Somebody put this kind of investment that has suffered. The investment has suffered already. But now it's trying to come to light. And some of you are still sabotaging it. If you have the intention, inshallah they will catch you. But I want to believe you that we are praying here. You that are praying here, with all what I've been telling you for the past 4 years. Anywhere we are going to be a good ambassador for Islam. Because you can't be hearing this, and me too sweating like this, and you throw all what I'm saying to rubbish. It won't be among the people who are my own disciples here. Ya'murukum bil adli. Let every one of us be just in whatever we are doing. What ihsan, let's do good. What ita is a kurba, our family. I keep saying it, family every time. Today that you are healthy, remember your family, not your wife and children. Your wife can disown you later. It's because you are helping her to pay the school fees of your children. Every one of us, let's go back home now. Ask your wife that between me and you, who do you want him or her to die first? Or you call your phone, you that your wives are not here. Call them on phone in the evening when you are back, after you take your shower. Maybe after Salatul Isha. Alaja Abuda, sweetie, please, I just want to say something. Between me and you, who do you want to die early? No matter how she loves you, she will never say it. Every woman, they want us to work for them and go. Come on, Girioma. Soon as you kill by Yaransu. Bawani Matamo, call me Imanisu. Bawani Namachi. Come on, Sumazo, Matansumazo Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Because Yada Allah ya Alitan Sune. Dukansu, Allah Jarenya Wokawala, Ad-Duah anyone. That is why in our presence, any one of them that is calling your child, especially the Yoruba people, if your wife are calling your children while you are alive, don't you call me, slap her mouth and tell her that Emiloko Rentiku Omo Relele. In your presence, even Sumata Yaguzake, Mujina, Kugiama Sumata Yaguche, Kai Kariani, Nina Mujiki, one Yaro Kine. If they have started calling them my husband, they are telling you what they cooking the Tema Juliomano. Yanomu. Sumatamu, they should know that. They should sink it into their brain. Because you are the one that we are gradually dying, gradually. Because of them, want to get this, be good out, send you to Makkah, send you to Umrah every year. We want all this for our family. And those of you that have to say, Baba te baku, I say Nini, oh yeah, no kusa to Baba re. Tinto wala re to ba feel down. Mudena chema iya ye murumu isumutu zamu ga Jesu. Ba mama ki maybe kenye mazaji abine kaposhi abine shibasi karabuma. Mudena padi duwan na ba kyau. Koma kunga mutum is about to die. Ya kusa mutum yana kan rashin lafiya. Ku ita masa addu'a. Allah ya saka tsira, Allah ya baka lafiya. Ko ki ce baba in ka mutu ina ne ka sa takardar nan ne ka tada gida, ba mamaki zai dawo kuma kai. Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. Allahumma izz al-islam wal muslimin wa zilla shirka wal mushrikin wa damir adaka a'da ad-din wa ansur ibadakal muwahhidin bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. Allahumma ati nufusana taqwaha wa zakkiha anta khairu man zakkaha anta waliyuha mawlaha. Bismillahi alladhi la yadurru ma'a ismihi shay'un fil ardi wa la fis sama'. Raditu billahi rabban wa bil islam dinan. Nabi Muhammadin nabiyyan sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Qumu ila salatikum yarhamukumullah.